Everybody, it's your main man, Anthony Brogdon, coming at you strongly. Stronger, strongest, strongnessly, and all them strongs. You know, strong is my favorite word, and I got a guy on this show today. I am super excited that he is on with us at Strong Inspirations. I'm Anthony Brogdon, and I'm coming at you from around the world. I got my African attire on, authentic too, wasn't made in China. It's the real deal. I bought it at one of them festivals. I have not been to Africa, my friends, and I'm disappointed in myself. But I got a feeling I'm going this year. I'm ready. Passport is ready, locked, and everything, because I got to go to the motherland where civilization began and do many trips, not a one-timer. I'm happy, and I want to speak over there. I'm trying to coordinate that too, right? And so here's Strong Inspirations, where I give it to you straight, no chaser, to intoxicate your mind through the people who come on the show today, and you're gonna be excited about today's guest. My man he tight. Let me tell you, everybody, I met him somewhere. No, he came to an event I had called Living in Africa. And he stole the show. There were a lot of people from different countries, but my man, you could feel the passion, and you'll see the passion in him. And he's migrated to the United States, and in particular Detroit. But he keeps that culture, that history, and he shares it in various ways, and he's going to talk about that today. Now, I want you to do a couple things for me. Hit the subscribe button on Strong Inspirations. It's free. It don't cost no information. I do this out the kindness of my heart, but I'm a better person as a result of this show and the people who come on here, like this gentleman. Hit the like button on this video. You're going to love it a lot. My man is smiling and everything. He got backdrop. He tight. Hit the notifications bell for when the videos come up. You get a ding, a shock, a smoke signal, your bones twitch, something to let you know there is new content on Strong Inspirations. In keeping with Africa, did you see the one I did with the guy out of Lagos, Nigeria, who grew up in a village? He said it was extremely poor situation, didn't feel it. Everybody around him was in that same vein, but his dad and people encouraged him to get an education. He ended up going to college, and he is now an international star with his own TV show based out of Africa. Watch that video. Did you see the one that I did with a lady out of Senegal, I believe it is? She wrote a book, and she talks about the history that they were not taught in grade school in her upbringing. Watch that video. Did you see the one I did with the guy out of South Africa? He says he grew up and lived, understandably, through apartheid, and he's a kind of fair-complected guy, so they call him colored. And he said, hey, I got a few advantages. You know how they had that caste system and whatnot, depending on your skin color. And he explained it all to us so eloquently, too. Watch that video. And there's so many more from Africa, from Australia, from Europe, and so on and so on. We're gonna continue seeking out people through the Caribbean. I want to do Brazil and so on and so forth. Now, you know, I suspect since you've been watching me, I'm a filmmaker, everybody, and this is a documentary I've done titled Business in the Black, The Rise of Black Business in America. It is streaming on Amazon. Please watch this. It's going to blow your mind, right? Because there were enslaved Black folks. Hear me now. Enslaved Black folks who went to college. Enslaved Black folks who owned a business and then used the money to buy their freedom. And there's so much more that we talk about in this film. This is the DVD, and nobody got DVDs players for the most part. So like I say, it is streaming on Amazon. Then I took it one step further and I did this book. And as I like to coin, it's America's #1 Black business history book. Got to get you a copy of this. It's called Black Business Book. It's over 200 facts. It's close to like 270 of information on the rise of Black business in America. Get you a copy of this. It is available on Amazon, but if you go to my website, businessintheblack.net, and you order it there, I'll ship it out directly and you get an autograph, which is going to mean something one day, I suspect, right? There's a lot of things going on. As you all know, I'm in Detroit. I'm doing a lot of speaking around Detroit, but I'm expanding that. And so on this May 25th, 2024, I'll be speaking in Columbus, Ohio, 25th and 26th at their Black Expo. June 1st, I'm speaking in Ann Arbor at their Black Festival. June 17th, I'm speaking in Galveston, Texas. Galveston, Texas, y'all know that word, right? With Juneteenth, I'll be speaking there on a number of occasions for Juneteenth. In other cities also in Texas, and there's more of that to come. And so just go to the website businessintheblack.net. Now you hear me use this term strong a lot. I even said it earlier, and this is my key word. It's strong stands for strength, tenacity, resilience, and a sense of oneness, nobility, and grace. And that is my introduction to the super strong soul brother from the continent of Africa and the country of Kenya. Come on, introduce yourself. Before you do that, everybody, I got to tell you this. Strong stands for strength, tenacity, resilience, and a sense of oneness, nobility, and grace. And that is my introduction, because he embodies all of those. Come on, my man, introduce yourself. Let's get it on.
Thank you very much, Brother Anthony Brogdon. I appreciate such a strong introduction. My name is George, but my stage name is Fishmonger Stories. Born and raised in Kenya, went to school there and did some of my schooling here in the U.S. As a traditional, ICU travel nurse. But when I'm not at the bedside, dealing with sick people, I like to share my culture. I like to share African stories that teach you to be kind and be gentle and work hard. And life is not a straight line. In life, you'll always have ups and downs. But no matter where you are, you can always help somebody. Whether you are down, you can pull somebody up. If you're up, you can pull somebody up. No matter where you are, there's always going to be ups and downs. And enjoy, appreciate every stage, every moment where you are, because it's an opportunity for you to enjoy or to look around you and help someone. So those are the kind of stories that I tell. And when COVID came, we could not tell these stories anymore. We went virtual. We started telling them on Zoom like this. And our audience just picked up. People were watching from Europe, people were watching from Africa, Australia, people were watching from North America, Canada, South America. Yeah. And so we started that Fishmonger Stories on YouTube. If you get a chance, go to that YouTube. Okay. Look up Fishmonger Stories, right. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We have stories for children.
Let me stop you right there. We're gonna get into that, man, because I'm pubbing you real hard. You don't that's for sure. But I do with all my guests. I gotta ask you some questions about you personally. What city did you grow up in?
Grew up in a city around Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is the largest freshwater lake in Africa, the second largest freshwater lake in the whole world, second only to Superior, that is in Canada. My people are predominantly fishermen. We eat fish for breakfast, fish for lunch, fish for dinner, fish for snacks, fish. We never get tired of it.
When you say fish, what kind of fish is it?
freshwater fish. I'm talking about perch. I'm talking about tilapia, and yeah, basically
Okay. And so,
anchovies.
so are you near? What's the major city?
The
Uh,
major city is Kisumu. Is Kisumu. Nairobi is the capital, but it's a little bit farther away. So the city that I was born in is Kisumu, just by the lake. But my ancestral land is Mfangano Island. It is in the middle of Lake Victoria. We are surrounded by fresh water. You just get up, wash your hands, and come inside and eat. So that is the vision I'm trying to create here.
all right, let's stay on that then. What did you grow up in a village, in a house? What was your dwelling like?
Oh, the dwelling is a little bit different in that my father worked in the city, and we also had an ancestral land. So we lived both in the city for school, and then when school closed, we'd all be transported into our ancestral land in the village, where we spent time with other cousins and other uncles and other aunties. So that was our ancestral, and that still stays there, where we have land. We know our roots. We have land. City is just a place where we work and go to school, but our land is there. So in the
Okay,
village is a little bit different, tin roofs, and people dig and go fishing. But in the city, it is just like any other city,
okay,
bustling
okay.
transportation,
I
buses,
got
and
you.
walking to school. And yes,
Okay, now when you say in the city, is your city like? Could it be like a city like Detroit? Was it
Eh,
a metropolis with a lot of people,
yes,
neighborhoods, that kind of thing?
yes, exactly, exactly. Kind of like any small city you'd see in downriver or whatever, with the
Okay,
mayor, the
okay,
city council, and just bustling business, and of course everything, traffic and pollution, and
okay,
all that comes with the living in crime that comes with living in a city, a movie theater,
okay.
and
I
stuff
got
like
you.
that. Yeah. So
Yeah,
all those was available to us in the city. We could listen to music and go to movies and popcorn and
yeah,
hang
sure.
out and yeah. But in the
Yeah,
village, it's a little bit different. So we enjoyed a balance of city and a balance of going to your ancestral land and living with
okay,
your yes.
okay. Let me
So
ask
that's
you
the
this
beauty of
then.
it.
Did what kind of school? What time did school start? How did you get to school? Was it
Yes.
a special school that you went for, let's say, the more gifted kids? It was a normal public school. What was school like?
Just a normal public school. You see, Kenya was a British colony, so a lot of our education was patterned after the British, and wherever the British went, they brought that education, and the Commonwealth countries, that the countries that the British colonized. We have the same education system like Australia. We have the same education system like India. We have the same education system in Nigeria, in Sierra Leone, some of those
Okay,
countries that were conquered by the British, eighth grade. And then from eighth grade, you go to, high school. And then from that, you finish 4 years in high school. And then you go to college, four
okay,
years. So
okay.
that was their buildings, a soccer field, basketball courts over
Yeah,
here, and
okay.
playing ground and playing. And then we have competitions amongst ourselves within the school
I
districts.
got you.
So
Did
yes.
did, did you have all black teachers, or were the teachers white?
Most the city that I live in is mixed. We have a lot of Indians that were brought over from India by the British during colonial times. They were brought over as slaves from India to Africa to help the British build the railway line in Africa. So they ended up staying in Africa, and they became Africans, and the children were born there. So Kisumu has a very high percentage of Indians. So our teachers were mostly people like us, and then of course Indians that we went to school with together because we live in a community.
Yeah.
So kind
Okay.
of like South Africa too, you'll get a lot of Indians in South Africa that were brought by the British for the
Okay.
same reason. So yes,
Okay.
mostly
Okay.
Africans, but of course we had Indian teachers Indian students that we learned with. Our local movie theater is owned by an Indian. We watch a lot of Hindi movies. So it's not uncommon for us to know a few Hindi words here and there.
Oh, I got you.
Yes.
I'm going to take liberties here and say this. Because your dad worked in the city, were you all middle class, upper middle class, if I may ask you that?
I'll probably say middle class. Yes. And in my culture, in my tribe, I'm a Luo, or a Luo Basuba. We practice polygamy. My grandfather had 5 wives. Some of my uncles had 4 or 5 wives. My father had 2 wives. And so in the city, my father lived with my stepmother. But in the village, it was my mother who was taking care of the family home back there. So when we went to school, we were living with my stepmother in the city. And when school closed, everybody, including my stepbrother, we'd all go back to the village and spend time with my mother. So that was the balance. The women were very pivotal in our lives. The mothers had to be strong to maintain the home in the city, and the other one to maintain the home in the ancestral land. So women had a vital role to play, and they still do today.
All right. Let me ask you this. Do you look at that because in America we don't practice that? Is that like your dad is a player, or you know what I'm saying, if I may ask, or did your mother not frown upon that? What I've never heard of it. Somebody can tell me, if I may ask you, what do you think of that dynamic?
It's a cultural thing that's been practiced for years and years. You look in the Bible, biblical days, you will see the same trend. But ours, they did it a little bit differently. The husband had to get permission from the first wife to marry a second wife.
Oh, really?
And yes, he had to get a permission from the 2 wives to marry a third wife. He had to get a permission from the 3 wives to marry a 4th wife. And there was a reason why the wives sort of gave that liberty, that permission, because if a man who had more wives, a bigger home, it was a status symbol. People looked up to you. If you can control this home with 13 or 30 kids, 30 children, and you have 5 wives, and you have this many cows, and your children are looking after the goats, you're a wealthy man. You are looked up to. People respect you in the community. And of course, every woman had to have his own house. You cannot put 2 women in the same house. And the man also had his own, we call it man cave. Man cave is not an American thing. Man cave is something we've been practicing for years. The man had his own man cave, and the women had their own houses. So depending on what, you tell the other woman, hey, today, come to the man cave. You come to the man cave on this day. You come to the man cave.
Really?
Yes. Okay. So it was a very well organized thing. But of course, times changed. We no longer work in the farms. People are going to schools. Tuition is expensive. So you can only afford 1 man, 1 woman. And of course, they brought Christianity. We embraced Christianity. And they made us change from that culture. So now the girls are like, no, I'm not going to be a second wife. I have a degree. I have a PhD. I can get my own job. I can get my own resources. So that culture sort of just did not make it.
I got you.
In the new century. Yeah. But they practiced well within that that time period. It was well organized, well practiced.
I got you.
It's there in a lot of cultures. Just that sometimes some cultures suppress it, but they still do it. Even here in America, it is there. It's just that it's not official. But
I got you. Let me. There's a couple more questions on this note for the people who don't, like myself, don't know. So you grew up in a particular tribe. Is your tribe the most prominent tribe?
Not really. Kenya has like Kenya is a small country, about the size of, let me say, like Oklahoma, but we have over 45 different tribes. It's almost like every county you go to is a tribe. You go to Wayne County, is a tribe.
Oh, I
You go to
see.
Washington, is a tribe. You go to Macomb County, Oakland County,
Yeah,
that's a
I
different
see.
tribe.
I see.
Yes, with different cultures. But as a country, we speak the one language of Swahili and English.
I see. I
Yeah,
see.
but every
Okay.
tribe have their own little nuances, things that are
Okay.
different in what they believe in and what they like to eat.
Oh,
So
really? Okay.
there's so much. That is just in Kenya. Uganda is a different story.
Yeah.
Tanzania, Ethiopia, Sudan. That's why there's, Africa has over 3,000 different languages
I got
that
you.
is
I got you.
spoken within the continent.
Okay.
So it's not uncommon for us to go to a restaurant and somebody sitting next to you is speaking a different language. The waiter is speaking a different language. The servers are speaking a different language. Everybody around you is speaking their own tongue. But if you want to order something, then we use Swahili. If you want to get a
I
service, then you
see.
use English. Yeah.
I see. Let me ask you this. Could you date a young lady in a different tribe, or was that frowned upon?
No, that was not frowned upon. That was not
Okay.
frowned upon because it brought a lot of intertribal relationships were allowed. It's just
Okay.
that
Okay.
yeah, sometimes especially way back then, they would encourage you to marry somebody from your tribe in case they, like I said, every tribe did. You want to know what does this tribe use for medications? Which trees, which roots? What do they like to eat? Can this woman know how to like our people ate fish? If we married a woman from the islands who does not know how to cook fish,
I see. I
yeah.
see. I see.
So it'll
I
be a
see.
little bit. So they'll tell you, if you marry her, then you have to teach her how to cook fish.
I see what you're saying. Let
Yes.
me
So
ask you this.
Mhm.
Is there racism? Do the white people run or the Indian people run Kenya, or is it like are they black? Are the black people doing it? What's that dynamic?
Like I said, because of the diversity of the tribes, we don't have what is called we have racism, but what we predominantly have is called tribalism. In other words, according to your tribe, you get favor according to your tribe, and because of this, there's sometimes a lot of tribal fights, like what happened in Rwanda, Burundi. What happened in Rwanda? The Tutsis and the Hutus fighting. The president comes from this tribe. So if your president comes from your tribe, you get a lot of favors. The prime minister comes from this tribe. So you get a lot of favors. And other tribes may not like that, So sometimes a lot of times elections are done according to, Anthony, you my tribe, I will vote for you.
I see.
Even though we know Anthony may not be doing a good job, but he's from our tribe. He's one of us. Put him in there.
I see. I see. Are there light-skinned African people in Kenya?
Oh, that's what? That's a whole different, because the diversity that is there is just like unbelievable. If you go, especially like my people that come from around Lake Victoria, we tend to be very dark-skinned. We tend to be stocky. But when you go towards our neighbors in the hills, the Nandis, the ones that run long distance marathons, they're very skinny. They're very dark. They weigh nothing but 120 or 30 pounds. And they run with the wind, like the wind. They live in the mountains. If you go to our neighbors on the Mount Kenya, the Kikuyus, very fair-skinned, but we are still living just in Kenya. Same thing with Africa. You go to East, we look different. We are the ones that do the long distance marathons, the Ethiopians, the Kenyans. When you go to the West, you have the Nigerians that are very fast. The ones that play in the NFL or the NBA are mostly from the West. You go to North Africa, you find the light-skinned brothers, the Ethiopians. the fair-skinned Somalis with the curly hair. You go down to South Africa, southern parts of Africa, the Nelson Mandela people, they look like you.
Yes.
Yeah, they look like you. They're
Sure.
very yellow-skinned.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that.
I got you.
Whoever created us must really love a lot of diversity.
Yeah. Oh, no question. Can now a couple more on this. Can somebody from your tribe run for president? Would there be enough people to vote for him or her, or only the larger tribes win the political offices?
The larger tribes tend to win, but when they are the smaller tribes coalesce and
I got you.
And try to outvote the bigger tribe, then sometimes corruption, and they say, oh no, we've been in power all these years, we're not letting you know. So we will find a way to they'll find a way to stay in power.
Okay.
Human nature is the same everywhere.
I got you.
Yeah, we own this city and we're not letting you guys come in and try and rock the boat.
Yeah,
so that part of human nature is just everywhere you go, unfortunately. Yeah.
Now, how did you learn Black history and your culture? Did you all, like, on Sundays always sit around the table and talk about your attire, your culture, the different things that you do? What is that? How does that history be passed down?
That's a good question. Now, a lot of our history was passed down to us through that art of storytelling again. Storytelling was like a therapy session. Every evening, your uncle would sit down, your grandpa, your grandma, and remember, we had so many of all those aunties and grandmas and all those people. And after dinner, we'd sit around the fireplace, and then they would ask you, how was your day? How was school? And then you tell a story. My school was like this. Auntie, how was your business today in the marketplace? Or business is doing good or business is doing bad? Uncle, how was the fishing business? So, and then a story would be told. So they told you a story, whether you're doing good or you're doing bad. If you're successful, no, it was almost like at the end of the day, we have a therapy session to wrap up the day. So all that was passed to us through storytelling. Be kind and be gentle and work hard, and life is not a straight line. And this is what you do before you get married. This is what you do after you get married. This is what you do when you're looking when you and your spouse don't have a child and you're trying to get a child. This is what you do once you get a child. This is what you do when you get a child, but your child is not listening to your ways. This is what you do when somebody dies. This is what. So it was a therapy session every night.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask you this then. So what was the day like normally? What time did you have to wake up? And let's say a school day. What time was school over? What time was dinner? That kind of thing.
Yes, but back in the city, because city is where we went to school, wake up by 6 o'clock, breakfast by 6:30. 6:30 we're walking to school. 7 o'clock we're walking to school. 8 o'clock the school starts, and then there's a general assembly, and then a little break in between, and then there's a lunch, and then we walk back home for lunch, and then we walk back to school.
Oh, really? You go home for lunch?
Yes, you just walk back to home for lunch, and then you walk back to school after lunch. That is if you're in a day school. But if you're in a boarding school, then they cook for you there. You stay there, and then same thing in the evening. After school, you play. After we stick around, play soccer, and then after play football, and then after that, you walk back home. But when school closes, when everybody's in the village, it's different. It was just a time of free play. We wake up in the morning. This is just from my perspective, because my village, we're surrounded by water. We wake up in the morning, cousins, relatives, everybody's running to the lake. It's time to swim. We swim, lay on the beach. Most of the time you run back. You're just told, hey, come back for breakfast. Then you're running back. You eat, and then you're out in the field, just having a good time. So village life was was much more fun. Schools are closed. It's the holiday. It was so much fun. That's where a lot of my memories were built. It became stronger. City was more like, hey, you wake up, homework, school, and you're walking in traffic, and there's cars driving. Be careful before you cross the road, and then school, and then you're walking back to school for lunch. Traffic. You walk back again after eating. Traffic, and then it's hot. The sun is hot.
Yeah.
And so city was a little different, but back in the village.
I got you. You jamming on this. So let me ask you this. So what kind of clothes did you wear? Did you wear the type that you have on now? Or did you wear, like in school, was it a uniform and that kind of thing? And then when you got out of school, was it uniform in high school? And what's the clothes like?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of schools had uniform. You had your white whatever, and then shorts, and then your tube socks that you've pulled all the way to your cuffs, and then black shoes or brown shoes, depending on what was the uniform for your school. When you got to high school, they throw in a blazer, that little jacket with a school emblem on it. And if you went to a boarding school, that was the trend.
Yeah.
But when you're done with school, you come back home, you carefully take your clothes, fold them nicely, because this is school uniform. You don't want to make it dirty. You don't want to mess with it. And then you wear your shirt, t-shirt, and then you play whatever.
Yeah.
And
now the clothes you have on now, when do people wear that?
Today I'm representing the people that live in the savannah, the Maasais, the Maasai tribe of Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. They are the ones who dress like this. They wear red mostly, and they have a lot of blings, and they live in the savannah with the predators, the lions, the cheetahs, the leopards. So they bling a lot. They believe in that all cows were given to them by God. So they are mostly they raise cows. That's the source of wealth and pride. So they're the ones who dress like this. So that's what today I'm representing them. But my people dress a little bit differently. When it's an event, we can wear traditional or just go with a suit and a tie, the British style. So there's still a lot of British influence in the way we do things.
You just said something that I want to go back on. You said they live among the predators.
Yes. The Maasais live in the savannah with the predators, and it's a beautiful story. They wear mostly red, and because they believe that the predators are afraid of red. When they see red, they think it's fire.
Oh, really?
Yes. So they tend not to mess with the people wearing red.
So, but you're talking about a leopard or something like that. Are there occasions where they do attack a person?
Yes, but leopards, they will attack, especially when the savannah is dry and they don't have food to eat, which is very rare because you have the wildebeests, you have the zebras, you have the things that they eat. But if that is not there, then they will come to the little villages where people have goats and cows, but they will not just attack you because they will not. Yeah, you can walk right past a leopard that's sitting on a tree and you don't even notice it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because it's full, it's not bothering you, you're not bothering, and you walk right past it. And it doesn't bother you. You don't bother it.
What about lions? Do you see lions out in the wild?
Yeah. Nairobi, the capital of Kenya, is the only city in the world that's inside a national park. When you fly into Nairobi, Brother Brogdon, you're flying into a national park. Okay. The city is built inside a national park.
So there are lions running around wild?
Yes. But they're not in the dwelling in the city area, the metropolitan area. They are very, very, because the National Reserve is very big. So the lions are out in the periphery. But sometimes, again, like I said, some of them break the barriers and try to come into the metros.
Have you
zebras when they come, no problems. But once in a while, if there's a lion on the loose, the Kenya Wildlife Authority will issue a warning, and they will try to get the lion back into there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever faced any wild predator animals yourself that it could have been a dangerous situation for you?
I'll probably say yes, because the leopards are very, very leopards. They don't bother you. Only if you bother them. So at night, when you go to maybe, with your friends, you're going to a local place to dance, whatever, in the village. People who've been attacked by leopards. There are people who walked by and said they saw something run and they were fine. Nobody attacked them. So, but then the other animals like the monkeys and those ones are there. You see them left and right.
Yeah, so what you could say is you could have a house in the city or a house in the village and the monkey is on your patio.
Yes, that's common. That's very common.
Does he get and a monkey could come into your house if your screen door was left open or something like that?
Yeah, remember the monkeys, they like a lot of corn, or as we call them, maize. We call them maize. So when you have a maize or a corn farm, you're always going to get bothered by monkeys who are trying to get a piece of that action.
I got you.
Yeah. So you have to have somebody throw rocks at them to keep them away, or, because you cannot build a fence that they jump over the fence. There's nothing you can do. Yeah.
Just a couple more on that. Like are there lizards and other mosquitoes or anything like that?
Oh yeah. Name any breed of they're there. We have the small lizards, and of course we have the crocodiles as they progress. There's the lizard, the small lizard. We have the gecko lizard. Then we have the alligators and the crocodiles, the hippos in the lakes. It depends on where you are. If you live in the freshwater lake, we tend to have mostly just crocodiles and hippos, and of course the gecko lizards. But when you go towards, if you live in the ocean and the seas, the people that live towards that, they see a lot of everything, the sharks and all that stuff.
Okay.
And
okay.
And then
when you say you go swimming a lot, you always got to look out for the crocodiles when you go swimming?
No, because we know where they are.
Oh, okay.
We know where, and again, the hippos will not come out during the day. Hippos will come out to eat at night.
Okay, I got
you. During the day, they will go probably on one side of, where the swamp, and that's where they hang out with the crocodiles. So that part of the swamp, you don't swim there.
I got you.
Don't go towards the swamp. That's their place of resting.
I got you.
Swim towards the beach, and you'll be fine. Okay, if you're going there, what are you doing there?
Yeah, I got you. Couple more. Now, when did you know some Black history? What's the history of Kenya? Who are some of the national leaders and that kind of thing that you all revere and you celebrate, what have you?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. When we gained our independence from the British in 1963, we needed help writing our constitution. And one of the persons that helped us write our constitution was Thurgood Marshall.
Okay.
Thurgood Marshall, yes. Thurgood Marshall was an activist, an African American who, during the 1960s, was traveling mostly in Africa to help the African countries that were gaining independence to structure their economy, to structure a government. So he played a pivotal role with some of our leaders like Tom Mboya. Tom Mboya was a Kenyan that also traveled in the US and UK, and he made friendship with people like Thurgood Marshall, Martin Luther King Jr., and they're very instrumental in helping our people prepare for the new economy, because Africa started getting independence in the 60s. The first country to gain independence was Ghana, 1960. And then after that, the British could not stop. Tanzania followed in 1961 and 1962 and 1963. There's a lot of countries getting independence at that time.
Okay.
So people like Thurgood Marshall were very instrumental in helping a lot of African countries, a lot of African brothers. So that collaboration has always been there for a long time. And I wish that story of Thurgood Marshall could be told. He was very instrumental in helping a lot of African countries, newborn countries, write their constitution, because he was a lawyer. And that part of history and collaboration was very important for the new African countries that were just getting born and didn't know how to write out a constitution. How do we form a country?
Let me ask you this: what before him? Who was is there a national leader that helped fight for the British and against the British for your independence?
Yes.
Is there someone that led the revolts or whatever like that?
Oh yes, we had names like the first president, Jomo Kenyatta, that a lot of people have, people have been named after him. Kenyatta, Kwame Kenyatta, whatever. But his name was Jomo Kenyatta. Jomo Kenyatta was an independent freedom fighter. Dedan Kimathi, I'm sure you've had some of that name being mentioned.
Right.
And that is just Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. And that's just in Kenya. But then when we go also towards the east, you hear of a lot of, Patrice Lumumba. You hear a lot of names that are being mentioned out there. You'll hear the Nelson Mandelas from the South Africa. Yeah. You'll hear a lot of big names that fought for independence. And
okay, I got you. Well, you mentioned some of the other countries nearby. What's near Kenya is where on the map, and what countries are near Kenya?
Kenya is on the eastern side of Africa. We are surrounded by Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Sudan, Somali, and we are sort of like the Great Lakes of Africa. Okay, Lake Victoria is right there. Lake Kivu is right there. Lake Turkana. A lot of the lakes are right there on eastern side of Africa. Then towards the central, you find the Congo, which is like the Amazon of Africa. The trees and the dense forests that keeps Africa alive. We call it the lungs of Africa. And Congo is so beautiful and it has all the resources, and that's why everybody wants a piece of Congo. That's why they are mining the cobalt. That is what you find in your cell phone and your iPhone and your iPad.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. Congo has it. All the cobalts, like 80% of the cobalt comes from Congo.
Okay.
What comes from Kenya? What comes from Kenya? We have a lot of good tea, good coffee. If you go to Starbucks and you look in the shelf, you'll see some Kenyan coffee.
Okay.
Yes. And a lot of good coffee, a lot of tea. And of course, we are also known for the long distance marathon running.
And, okay. Yeah, right.
And of course, the president, former President Barack Obama, his father comes from Kenya.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So those are some of our contributions that we're proud of.
Yes. Now, as we almost come to a close, how did you get to America?
Again, like I said, seeking opportunity, greener pasture. Sometimes you look across and I think the grass is greener over there. Let me go try. Until you get there, then you realize, oh, okay, it's different. This grass is not real grass. It's astroturf.
I got you. I got you.
You gotta work for this to get it, and that it's a economy that keeps revolving. It comes in and it goes through the other hand.
Yeah, I
If you
got you.
don't if you don't save, then you never see anything. You just go through this rat
Yeah,
race that never ends. You're constantly into work, and when you reach a certain age, you retire, and they don't need you anymore, and they
yeah,
drop
yeah,
you and
sure.
pick up someone. They pick up someone else who's stronger and can produce. And
Yeah, yeah, sure. Now, did,
so
did did you come by yourself? Your family come with you?
a lot of times, we come when we are that you finish high school, or you went to college, you did bachelor's in Kenya. So that 18, 19, 22 year old single, still
Yeah, yeah,
going to school. So that is the age where a lot of people come. But some people come when they're a lot older.
yeah. Do
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to have
But
a visa? How do you is it hard to move here?
oh yes, it is. It is very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult, and U.S. Government policy is not been very favorable for immigrants coming from that part of the world to come in here.
Yeah,
There's a lot of rationing and cuts, and say, okay, we can only take so much from
yeah,
this part of
right.
the
I
world,
wonder. Yeah,
but we can take so much from the other part of the world. We
yeah,
can take so much from Asia, but this we can only take so much. So that part, is very, very difficult to comprehend. But where there is talent, there is talent. We
yeah,
bring a lot of good education and good skill sets to the Americas, and America will always seek, if there's a profit in it, they will come for you. If you're
yeah. I
gifted,
see.
they will
Yeah.
get you. They will seek you. They will find you. They will bring you, and yeah, to
Let, let,
contribute. Yeah.
well, since you've been here, what is the difference of the people, uh, of the black people here in terms of our attitude and the black people in Kenya and in Africa? Would you say?
Uh, I think the difference is just our perspective as an African who grew up in Kenya is, I have land. I know where my ancestors come from. No matter what, even if I get kicked out of America, I have a piece of land where I know I can be buried here. I know where my ancestors are. And I have seen us fight for freedom and kick the British out, kick the Germans out, kick the Italians out, kick the Portuguese, kick the Spanish, kick them out of the continent and gain our independence. So I have that perspective that if I fight, we can kick these people out. We can overcome. We can build our economy. As opposed to an African American here who went through that time of slavery where everything was stripped away from them. And they had to embrace a new identity, which is not there, which is not theirs, different culture in the Americas, and always struggling with identity. Where are my ancestors? Not having strong roots, knowing the power that is in them. Because to tell you the truth, Brother Brogdon, we are very blessed as a people from the continent. Because of our diversity, we have so much that we bring to the table. The people from West Africa, some of the smartest people in the whole world. The people from East, some of the smartest people, North and South. The tallest people in the whole world come from Africa. The shortest come from Africa. The fastest come from Africa. The slowest, the smartest come from Africa. We have this diversity. We have this in us. And unfortunately, our brothers who are brought here, the African Americans, they forgot that. So because they forgot that, they've not tapped into it. Once they tap it, once you know who you are and you know your history, unfortunately, that history was cut. But we are trying to bring it back. We are trying to tell our African American brothers, you are very strong. We want to let you tap into your history. Once you know that history, nothing can stop you.
I love it.
You may have very little, but even with that little mustard seed, you can do tremendous things. And that's why I go to schools and museums, tell them African stories and tell them, you know what? You are so strong. There's something in you that is a dynamite. If you use it well, you can go places. If you don't use it, this thing will blow up and burn you. You will self-destruct because there's something greater in you that they cannot bottle. They call it, they jump around and give you medication to suppress it. Call it ADHD, whatever, ADHD. Yeah. Because they don't know what to do with this little bundle of energy.
Yeah.
But we need to find a way for this little bundle of energy to blossom. We have to create so when I go to schools to talk to the little ones, where I create an atmosphere of bring that energy, I'll meet your energy too. Let me see that raw energy. Let me see that energy that's in you, that, yeah, you are strong. You are big. You're first. Don't.
I love it.
That is what I try to tap in the little ones. If I can get 2 or 3 kids to tap in, I think we did a good job.
There you go.
But
I love
that
it.
is what we want to tap and let the little ones know they're very strong. There's something in them that either they use for good or that thing will burn them.
I got you.
They will self-destruct. And a lot of them, unfortunately, self-destruct because they don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Couple more questions. When is the best time for a visitor, if I may say best time, to go to Kenya for vacation? Is there holidays or when the weather is best? What's the seasons like? That kind of thing.
I'd probably say, a lot of tourists from the northern side tend to visit in the summertime. Schools are closed, whatever, summer vacation. So during those times, tickets may be a little expensive. Or around Christmas time, holiday, when people travel, tickets may be expensive. But any other time, with a good agent, is a good season. It's a good season. You can travel anytime, and just get a good agent and have a package. You say, I'm going to Kenya. I want to see the Masai Mara. I want to see the Serengeti in Tanzania. I want to go to Zanzibar, the bluest water that you've ever seen. And then from East Africa, I want to jump to South Africa. I want to go see this. And then from East Africa, from South Africa, I want to go to North. I want to see Egypt. I want to see Morocco. I want to see the
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this one more. Is there a question that I have not asked you? How about that? Anything in particular? Do you miss home?
In the wintertime, I do, yes. When it's snowing in Michigan and you're frozen, yes, you will miss home. Other than that, Michigan summers tend to be very mild and very beautiful. Yeah. So, but like I said, you gave me an opportunity to share what my passion is to reach our people here. Yes. To reach our people here and tell the little ones that they have so much power in them, and there's so much diversity, and they should celebrate that diversity.
I love it.
They should tap into that culture, that heritage, and remember where their people come from. It was badly cut from them. That relationship was severed, and their stories they never had it again, but we are reconnecting back with our brothers in the diaspora. We are reconnecting with our brothers in the Caribbean and telling them, we are reconnecting with the brothers in South America, in Brazil, and telling them that there's something in them that is very strong and powerful. Use it for good, or that thing will just burn and destroy you. Yeah.
How do people find you? I mean, do you have a website that people can have you come speak and that kind of thing, other than the telephone number, I guess? But yeah, how do people catch up with you?
Social media is a beautiful thing. You know, we are on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. You can drop a message, and we will make it. We will come to you.
And
we don't take it. I don't take it for granted, even if it's just a birthday. We do it. We do a backyard storytelling. You bring your relatives. We sit down, and then we tell them stories of how we are all connected. How this small finger is just as important as this big thumb. You cut this finger off, and you realize you will have a lot of problems even in holding anything.
Yeah.
You take this finger off, and you'll have a lot of problems without the rest. Yeah. So you win stories that teach you that we need each and every finger. We need each and every eye, every nostril, everything contributes. So we will come to your event, birthday, baby shower, graduation, wedding, just something different. Just to let you know that you don't have to have a piñata at every birthday. You can have a storyteller.
Yeah, I got you. and again, they look you up under the name Fishmonger.
Fishmonger Stories.
Fishmonger Stories. That's the thing. Well, hey, I thank you so very much for coming on Strong Inspirations. Everybody, I told you was gonna love this. I told you, and he got that one moment, and all of them was good, but that one moment he said, "Let me tell you about our people and the greatness in us." You said that so very eloquently. I mean, unbelievably so, but believably so. Everybody hit the subscribe button on Strong Inspirations, hit the like button on this, hit the notifications bell, subscribe. Go to, and it will all be in the description. Follow this brother. Have him come out to your events. I'm sure he will even travel across the U.S., so on and so forth, to put on his storytelling, his attire, and to give you that version that you saw some now, and even more so. Please do that and support him in that regard. And to you, my brother, I say this, and I mean this with all sincerity. I want you to stay strong, stay safe, stay on your grind. I love what you're doing. We're going to connect some more. There's no question about it. All that good stuff. And I like for you to do this in Swahili, in your native language. Close us out with some thought.
All right. I will say this. I will say thank you very much, which we say asante sana. And I will also say that in life, no matter where you are, just remember everything is going to be all right. In the spirit of Swahili, we say hakuna matata. That is a phrase that, Disney used. It's a Swahili word, which means everything will be all right. No worries. Hakuna matata. No matter what, every little, I think Bob Marley says it. Every little thing's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Baby, don't worry about a thing. Everything is gonna be all right. Hakuna matata.
There you go. That'll close us out. Thank you so very much. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, sir.